All right, guys, I am actually coming at you with a pretty happy video today. Yes, there's going to be some budget changes, and thankfully it is on the income side of the budget. So I won't leave y'all waiting in suspense to the end of the video for me to get to the point. I'm just going to tell you right now that I got a 7.7% raise at my job. So my base rate of pay that I earn hourly is going up by 7.7%, which means also that the shift differential I get on top of that should go up a little bit as well. I am super pumped about that. And there is actually some backstory to this. If you are new to my channel, I'll try and keep this backstory brief. In fact, I had uploaded some videos previously talking about this situation at work, and I ended up taking those videos down because I was afraid, just a small part of me was afraid, that someone from work might actually stumble across those videos, and while I never mentioned where I work, any names, anything, still, I was just afraid that somebody might see that and it would somehow end up coming back to bite me. But the gist of the situation is this. Last summer, around the end of July, there were some work changes that were going on. All of the people working in the ultrasound department where I work were asked to obtain a vascular registry. Now, when I first got hired on with the company, they warned me that this change was coming. 3 years later, they finally made the change and started to require everyone to get this vascular registry. Now, when I first got hired, I went ahead and got it because I knew it was coming. And also they would give a 5% raise whenever you got your vascular registry. So I said, well, I'll go ahead and try to make the most of that situation. So I got it ASAP after I got hired. However, some of the other girls in the ultrasound department weren't happy about the change. They didn't want to get the registry and yada yada. They started leaving, and when they left, word was starting to trickle back to the rest of us, since we're a pretty close-knit department, that they were getting a lot better pay elsewhere and not having to do this vascular registry. So when that happened, I decided to try and find out if the pay that I was getting paid at work was competitive or not. And it's a little bit tricky to do that with ultrasound in particular, because so much depends on your experience level, where you work, whether you're in a hospital environment or a doctor's office or an outpatient imaging facility. It also depends on the number of registries you hold. For instance, the vascular registry, I'm also registered in OBGYN and abdomen. You can be registered in pediatric, you can be registered in breast, you can be registered in any number of things. So all of that comes into play when it comes to getting a new job and trying to figure out what your compensation should be. So it makes it a little bit tricky, really, to know if you're being compensated fairly. So what I did to try and find the most accurate information that I could was reach out to my fellow classmates that I went through ultrasound school with way back when, and see if any of them would be willing to discuss what they were being compensated with me, and many of them were. And lo and behold, it turns out that yours truly was getting paid the least out of the whole group. Now that's purely looking at my base rate of pay, hourly pay. I was at the bottom. So me and one other girl in the ultrasound department had requested a meeting with our ultrasound manager as well as the radiology director where we work to discuss our compensation and see if we could get it reviewed. You know, we both brought all of the information that we had gathered and made a good case for ourselves and tried to justify raises for ourselves. And what ended up happening from that was they decided to do a market analysis review for the department. Do you need something? Do you need to go outside or something? If I'm moving, I've got a giant dog leaning up against me. Can I help you? Yeah. Anyway, so they decided to do this market analysis for the department, and that took a long time to do. And back in November, I got an email notice from the manager over the ultrasound department that after review by HR, my compensation was, quote, adequately positioned. So I thought that that was going to be the end of it. I was like, okay, well, it doesn't hurt to try, right? You know, I did the best that I could, and I really just wanted to make the most of my working situation, and I really felt like, you know, we deserved a raise across the department, to be honest. So imagine my surprise when in this last week that I saw an email from the company I work for saying that they have completed a market analysis for our department and found that, you know, everybody gets a 7.7% market analysis increase in pay. I'm like, I mean, I'm happy, I'm super thrilled that this is happening, but I don't have any idea what changed between November and January. I mean, I don't see how my pay can be adequately positioned and appropriate, and then 2 months later, it needs a 7.7% bump. It just seems really odd to me. Whatever, I'm glad that it happened. I do want to think that maybe me getting things going with this market analysis last summer might have had something to do with this. I'm gonna hope. So if you're like me and you're out there and you've gotten a little bit complacent in your current job, that is exactly where I was early last summer. I was just going to work and doing my thing and thinking that, you know, my pay was fair, but never really questioning anything. Maybe it's time to take a look and see what's going on around you. You know, look if there are other jobs in your field out there, maybe apply to them. See what other offers you could get. It's not that you have to leave your job, you don't have to take any offer given to you, but maybe it would be a good idea to find out, right? So yeah, I was completely shocked. I'm really glad that this happened. And, you know, as far as what I'm gonna do with this pay bump, I mean, naturally with my base pay going up 7.7%, that means I'm not gonna change my retirement contributions, but my current contribution rate, if I get a raise, then it's gonna go up a little bit to my 403B, so that'll be nice. As of right now, I really don't plan on changing anything as far as my financial goals go, so this extra money will just go to further whatever financial goal I'm working on. However, I will throw in at the end of this video, I just thought about it, there may be a chance that in the coming months I may need to have a medical procedure done that may not be covered by my insurance. So y'all know I'm pretty transparent on YouTube and I share almost everything with y'all, but some things don't belong on YouTube, so I can't really go into the specifics of that. But if that happens and insurance won't cover it, then that may be a few $1,000s expense. So we'll just see how that goes. But, you know, if I have to have that done, then that's just another good thing that the raise came through for us. So far, many of the other girls in the department have reached out to me, and the other girl that had the meeting, even though she ended up leaving for a job with higher pay, but they've reached out to us to thank us for getting this ball rolling with the department and, you know, ultimately getting everybody a raise. When I messaged the other girl who had had the meeting with our managers to let her know what had happened, because she's already left, she messaged me back that if they'd have been a little bit faster about this whole situation, that she probably would have stayed. So that kind of makes my heart hurt just a little bit, because she was a very good employee. We miss having her around. Y'all, it got pretty choppy at the end of last summer. We had a bunch of people leave. We had to have temporary travel people come in. there was drama surrounding that. Anyway, I'm getting a little too rambly, but things are finally settling down as far as my work situation goes, and icing on the cake after toughing all of this out, 7.7% pay bump. So that'll do it for this video. I'll try to keep it short. I'll see y'all in my next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.